Arsenal have to make transfer decision. Is it Victor Gyokeres or is it Victor Osimhen? Let me know your thoughts down below. Who would you rather sign? If you're an Arsenal fan, Liverpool fan, Man United or Tottenham fan, out of the two strikers for your club, is it Gyokeres or is it Osimhen? Because according to reports, Arsenal have to make a transfer decision out of the two. Various different links yesterday about Osimhen, the Mirror, the Standard now today reporting about Gyokeres. Let me know your thoughts down below. The road to 20,000 subscribers is well and truly on. We are closing in now. We're less than 300 away, which is absolutely unreal. If you're enjoying the content, please go down, hit that subscribe button. And if we could get 1,000 likes on the video, that would be absolutely unreal. Now, the two strikers that Arsenal have been heavily linked to, of course, their number one transfer target at the beginning was Benjamin Sesko. Now, I think he has been advised well, properly. A lot of players would just take the money move. He's getting a little bit more experience under the belt in Germany, playing for RB Leipzig. They've got a good team. Luis Openda. They're just about to lose Danny Olmo, but I think they're going to replace him well. They've always had a good kind of scouting network, Red Bull, with Salzburg and Red Bull Leipzig. That was their number one transfer target. They missed out. Now it's looking likely that Nico Williams may stay at Bilbao. Now, the other two forwards in terms of the striker position they've been heavily linked with are Victor Gyokeres and Victor Osimhen. Two very, very different sort of strikers. Both can lead the line. Both are great goal scorers. Both have turned up in the big games, but both have a hefty price tag of around £80 million. Now, the striker market, as it stands right now, that's probably what you've got to pay for a top striker, 80 to 100 million pounds. You know, if you look at the Premier League right now, Alvarez has just joined Atletico Madrid. I think Osimhen and Gyokeres are both better than him. I think in terms of a number 9, maybe not as a footballer. Dominic Solanke's about to join Tottenham for around 60 million pounds. So the striker market is a little bit overpriced with some players. Now, according to the Standard, fresh Victor Osimhen to Arsenal twist. Victor Osimhen is reportedly determined to leave Napoli this summer and has been the subject of talks from Chelsea. Still a loan move to Stamford Bridge. He's not thought to appeal the Nigerian at this stage, which could open the door for Arsenal. According to Italian journalist Gianluca Di Marzio, the Gunners could enter the race for the forward. Now, when it comes to Italian transfer news, Gianluca Di Marzio is very, very, very hot on it. He's, of course, an Italian transfer journalist. When it comes to Serie A moves in and outs, he's all over it like a tramp on hot chips. He is very, very clued up when it comes to the Italian transfer news. Now, Victor Osimhen, we'll start with him and then we'll move on to Gyokeres and we'll talk about Pedro Neto because I want to get your thoughts with regards to this. Now, Osimhen apparently has £100 million, €100 million fee, which is about 84, 86 million pounds, somewhere in that region. With add-ons, you're probably looking at close to a 90, maybe 95 million pound striker. And those add-ons might be if you get to the quarterfinals of the Champions League, if you win the Premier League, if you get to the semi-final of the FA Cup, if you secure Champions League football, some realistic, some more tougher add-ons. Now, Victor Osimhen, it's no secret he wants out of a move from Napoli. He's fed up. He feels as if he has done all he can. He was a very, very, very important piece to the puzzle when they won the league title a couple of years ago. Him and Kvaratskhelia, if that's how you pronounce his name, were the two most important pieces. Of course, they had Fabian Ruiz in there as well. A very strong Napoli side. Now, when I look at Napoli in general, I actually think Fabian Ruiz might have been at PSG. When I look at Napoli in general, last year, Osimhen didn't have the best of season. Collectively, Napoli didn't. Napoli last season, if you look at the difference between them when they won the league title compared to them not, I mean, the 2022-2023 season, they absolutely blitzed everyone on 90 points. And of course, Osimhen was a very, very important factor of that winning team, that title winning tide. Victor Osimhen was very, very, very important. Then you look at the difference between last season. Now, Victor Osimhen, in terms of an individual campaign, didn't have the worst in terms of his numbers, but they finished 10th. Their manager left. He joined the Italian national side. The difference in points is absolutely ridiculous. 53 points last season. The season before, 90. 46 point difference. Yeah, 36 point difference. Yeah, absolutely ridiculous. When you look at Victor Osimhen's stats in isolation of that season, of that title winning campaign, very, 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 very good. 26 goals and 4 assists in the 32 games. His record in the Napoli shirt, he's had 4 seasons where he's got double digits for goals. And he has had one standout season in France where he got 18 GA in 27 games. His Serie A record is very, very, very good. 65 goals and 16 assists in 108 games. The record is very, very good. His Champions League record, he's got 9 goals in 17. Of course, Arsenal want to get a striker who's been in and around European competitions. And of course, Victor Osimhen has a very, very good Champions League record. When you look at his numbers in isolation from in different leagues, that they are relatively good. He's played 206 games as a centre forward, so he doesn't necessarily tick the versatility box that a João Pedro or maybe a Pedro Neto would tick, or the likes of Kai Havertz. Predominantly out of the 223 games he's played in his career, or whatever it is, he's played 206 of those as a number 9. When you look at Victor Gyokeres, the Mirror are coming out saying that Arsenal are seemingly pressing ahead with their attempts to sign Victor Gyokeres ahead of the transfer deadline day. It then goes on to speak about Benjamin Sesko, saying how he was their number 1 transfer target and they missed out, and he opted to sign an extra year extension. It then goes on to say Arsenal have subsequently been linked with a number of forwards, including the likes of Gyokeres and Victor Osimhen, and it's the former who would likely end up at the Emirates before the end of the month. And outlined by a new report that Corriere dello Sport, Arsenal are very active on Gyokeres at this point, unlikely to move for Osimhen, who still wants to leave. So a new twist has opened up according to the Standard, which they believe they're still in the hunt. Gyokeres, according to the Mirror, is the main guy. Both the Gunners and Chelsea have been touted as potential destinations for the one-away striker in recent weeks, and it's been reported that the latter have explored a possibility of going on a loan deal for the Nigeria international. But for Arsenal, a move for Gyokeres off the back of his remarkable maiden season with Sporting Lisbon in Portugal seems to play ahead of the new Premier League campaign. Gyokeres is 26, who got 43 goals in 50 games for Sporting last season after moving to Portugal in a deal worth 20 million from the Championship outfit Coventry City. And it then goes on to say Arsenal are unlikely to move to Victor Osimhen. It's emerged at the end of the month that Sporting have taken an option to reduce Coventry's sell-on percentage. Speculation that the Portuguese giants were planning to cash in on Gyokeres' stock is still high. We spoke about that maybe last week or the week before, about the fact that they have changed the sell-on clause, which for me means they're anticipating a sale. Now, where I believe this is going to get very, very, very interesting is Tottenham in general. Not Tottenham, sorry. Tottenham have been linked with Gyokeres. So have Chelsea, but I don't think they've got the pulling power that an Arsenal do in terms of the position that Arsenal are in right now. They're battling for league titles. Now, if you're in a situation now, and Arsenal and Chelsea are both going in, as well as Tottenham, as well as Man United, those four clubs are going in. Arsenal, for me, are probably the top of your list because they are at the latter stages of their project, which is to win the league now. They should be winning league titles this season or next, whereas Chelsea are kind of at the beginning of their process under Enzo Maresca. Of course, they had Pochettino there before. The ins and outs of the transfer for Osimhen is going to be very interesting. PSG, Chelsea, and Arsenal. And it seems to be at the moment only Arsenal are really in for the likes of Victor Gyokeres. Now, Gyokeres' numbers are absolutely ridiculous. They are stupid. We've spoken about João Pedro, Pedro Neto, that are more versatile sort of players, which is what Arteta loves. He loves versatility. Every single player that he signed in the last 12 to 18 months, from your Ben Whites to your Gabriels, your Salibas, your Declan Rices, your Leandro Trossards, your Kai Havertz, are all playing a very, very open team, and when I mean open team, I mean, you can cover different positions. The two players they're looking at right now, Victor Gyokeres and Victor Osimhen, are out-and-out killers in the box. If you look at Victor Gyokeres' record, 114 goals and 28 assists in 223 games is absolutely, it's a ridiculous record. He's about to be 26 in December in a few months' time. Victor Gyokeres' goal record is very, very good as well. Last season set the world alight and had a good season at Coventry. He does have English experience in the English leagues. I think at the moment in time, Gyokeres is probably the more realistic option. But then you've also got other players that are getting traction with the media. You're getting traction with the likes of the Pedro Netos and the João Pedros of this world. Now, I think at this moment in time, there was an article out there that is saying, could Arsenal move for Pedro Neto or João Pedro and then go back in for Benjamin Sesko in the summer? Now, of course, what Arsenal need to do, in my opinion, is in the next couple of weeks, they've got to identify out of these two who they really want. They've potentially lost out on Nico Williams. They've lost out on Benjamin Sesko. It looks like Mikel Merino is going to be an Arsenal player in the coming days. People are coming out saying that they expect him to be a Arsenal player within the next 1 to 2 days. Now, of course, Arsenal play tonight. One thing that's worth noticing and looking out for is, are Arsenal going to go full strength? Is Bukayo Saka going to be back in the team? Of course, Arsenal have a friendly against Lyon on Saturday as well. And then before you know it, it's the first game of the season. Wolves at home, and then Aston Villa, Brighton, Tottenham and City. So it's a relatively tough start for Arsenal this Premier League season. Of course, they need to figure out who they're going to get in before they play these Premier League games. I think João Pedro could be a good signing for Arsenal. I don't think he starts for Arsenal. I think Pedro Neto could be a good signing for Arsenal, but I don't think he starts either. But what they do is they give them more quality and depth. Emil Smith-Rowe looks like he's going to have a great season off the back of his first performance for Fulham. He looks like he's energised, enjoying his football again. Eddie Nketiah, that move has broken down to Marseille. They've got to get Eddie Nketiah out before someone else comes in. And then you've got the likes of Reece Nelson, who is attracting clubs, from the likes of Leicester. They're heavily interested in him. So let me know your thoughts down below in terms of Arsenal and the outgoings. Kivior, Zinchenko, both of those players getting a lot of traction in terms of moves away. But I think we're in a very interesting position right now for the remainder of the transfer window. Who do Arsenal go and get? Is it Osimhen? Is it Gyokeres? Is it Neto? Is it João Pedro? Or do they keep their forwards as they are and go and get another attacking midfielder like a Fabian Ruiz or maybe someone else? Do let me know your thoughts down below. Like I said, we are closing in on 18,000 subscribers. The road to 20K is well and truly on. If you are enjoying the content, please do go down, hit that subscribe button, get involved in the conversation, drop a like on the video. Now, one thing I want to talk about is Mikel Merino's role at Arsenal. How is he going to fit in? What position is he going to play? Does Declan Rice go to a more of a defensive-minded area, or does he play a more advanced out-and-out advanced 8 role? I think at present, I think it's realistic for Arsenal to go to a double pivot and then one goes forward, one rotates. They're kind of both are playing central midfield roles with Odegaard sitting in front, playing that number 10 more advanced, Bukayo Saka on the right. The interesting question is going to be who starts on the left, because if you're going off form of last season, Leandro Trossard probably will start there. Then you're going Kai Havertz up front. Then for depth, you've got Eddie Nketiah, who's still at the club at the moment. You've got the likes of Gabriel Jesus. You've got the likes of Gabriel Martinelli. I think it's a huge, huge season for Gabriel Martinelli. I think it's massive because if you look at Gabriel Martinelli's stats in the last 3 years, he's had a very, very good season. And then he's had 2 seasons where it kind of didn't really work out for him. You know, if you look at his numbers in an Arsenal shirt since 2019-2020 season, which I believe is when Unai Emery first gave him his debut, you know, last season, he still got 10 goal contributions in 35 games. The season before that, very, very strong season, 15 goals and 5 assists, 20 GA and 36, very, very good return. 12 GA in 29 the season before that. And of course, he barely played any football with only 14 games in each season. But it's a big, big season for the likes of Martinelli because 2 of the last 3 seasons, he hasn't had a out-and-out output season in terms of his goals. The assists have relatively stayed the same between 4 and 6. But the goals, it was quite a big drop-off between 9 goal difference. I expect to see Gabriel Martinelli have a much better season this season. But Leandro Trossard is a very good player. Could he potentially keep that left wing position? Of course, it's a squad game. There's 8 games in the Champions League this season. It's going to be interesting to see who Arsenal get in the Champions League. And of course, in my opinion, Arsenal need to go out there and make the domestic cups a little bit more serious this season, because in the last 3 or 4 years, they've gone out to games in which they should have won. The likes of Nottingham Forest, the likes of Brighton, the likes of Liverpool, Manchester City. Let me know your thoughts down below. Make sure you have subscribed. Make sure you like the video. And I'll see you all in the next one. Thank you all for watching. I am